Hey everybody, Reload here, and I'm continuing on with the new character exploration series. Last time I showed the basic high-sec exploration of a data site, and this time around I want to go more in depth into the scales and fits of the ships. First and foremost, let's take a look at the scales that are actually needed for the exploration. They're all conveniently located under the scanning tab on the market. So for now I have most of the scales trained up to level 3 with one of them astrometrics trained up to level 4, and currently I'm training up astrometric rangefinder to level 4 as well, because so far I've found that most of the sites I can scan down no problem in high-sec, but some of the very valuable data sites and relic sites I just can't seem to get to that 100% signal strength. So having astrometric rangefinding will help me get that final extra strength of the probes. But besides that, if you just train up all of your skills to at least level 3, you should be fine with getting around the sites in high-sec. Aside from the scanning scales, you may also want to invest into other different scales that will help you outfit your ship a little bit better. For example, the hull upgrades that I mentioned last time. The hull upgrade skill will let me install the overdrive injectors that will further increase the speed of my ship. A few other useful skills that you might want to invest in are the CPU management and the power grid management. Both of those will increase the overall capacity of your ship to fit other modules. One good way to tell what other skills you need to train up is to simply take a look under the Mastery tab of your ship info. Currently I'm flying the T1 exploration ship Heron, and there's not much train on this character. And as you can see, there's not everything that's been done even for level 1 mastery, but this will be a good guide to you as to what to train up. Okay, now let's break down the actual fit of the ship. Like I mentioned in the last video, the main 3 components that you have to your ship are the core probe launcher, the data analyzer, and the relic analyzer. With those 3 you can pretty much go ahead and start scanning everything in high-sec as long as you can actually scan it down. The rest makes exploration a lot easier. Let me break down the medium power slots first. The Caldari Heron actually has 5 open slots available to fit any equipment possible, and that makes it quite a versatile ship compared to all the other races. First and foremost, the micro-warp drive. You have to invest your time to train up all the necessary skills in order to fly it. Up until then, afterburner is good enough, but when you're inside the high-sec sites you have to be fast to outpace any competition that you might have. So micro drive comes in handy then. Of course, we have the data analyzer and the relic analyzer. Those are for the data sites and the relic sites. And then we have the cargo scanner. The cargo scanner is quite useful if you're competing with somebody, so you're able to scan down the info shards ahead of time to find out which ones contain the valuable loot. But besides that, that's not the most important part of the ship. Actually, I would probably fit a different equipment right here. Like right now I have the scanning position array, and as one viewer pointed out, may not be the best possible equipment if you're a new player. The scan rangefinding array will probably do much better because this one actually increases the strength of the scan probes. The acquisition array comes in handy when you actually have the skills trained up because it reduces the time it takes for the probes to scan down a site. When you scan down multiple sites, eventually the time will catch up to you. Or you'll end up spending way too much time trying to scan everything down. Let's take a look at the lower power slots right now. Currently I have overdrive injectors installed, but they decrease the overall cargo capacity. So if you don't want to have your cargo hold decreased, I recommend installing a different type of equipment right here. An alternative to the overdrive injector is the nanofiber internal structure. It both increases the agility and the velocity of your ship, and that's what you really need. But for now, personally, I haven't run into any problems running out of cargo space, so I have 2 overdrive injectors installed. As for the rigs, it's highly recommended that you train up the jury rigging skill. That way you'll be able to fit the rigs with not much of a drawbacks to them. And currently I have installed the mimetic algorithm that helps me with the data analyzer module, so it gives it more strength to break down those info shards. And I also have the gravity capacitor upgrade that gives more power to my scanning probes. Depending on your particular situation, you might want to install 2 gravity capacitor upgrades in order to have more strength to your probes. Or you can install 2 small mimetic algorithm banks if you find that you don't have enough virus cohesion to crack down the info shards. As for the high power slots, there's really not much of a choice there because you have to have a core probe launcher. You can also install the expanded core prompt launcher. That will take a lot more CPU, but you'll be able to scan down ships or maybe abandoned drones in the area, but that's up to you. I have installed a salvager as well, but that's not really necessary for the exploration. I just like to have it just in case I bump into an interesting wreck on the way. If you're having problems scanning down a particular site, you do not have enough strength to your probes, and none of the actual equipment helps, like the pinpointing array and the range-finding array, and you pretty much maxed out all of your rigs with the small gravity capacitor upgrade. One thing you could do is change the simple core scanner probes into a different kind of probes. Specifically, you can get the sister core scanner probes, as you can see right here, or the RSS core scanner probes. Although I'm not sure you can go for those straight up, because as you can see, they're very expensive. The sister core scanner probe is a little bit more reasonable, especially if you have a little bit of ISK saved up already. But as you can see, the main difference is that the sister core scanner probe actually has the base sensor strength of 44 points. Compare that to the actual core probe, which is only at 40 points. So having the sister core scanner probe will actually help you scan down those very tough sites in high-sec that you might encounter. Of course, once you have trained up all the proper skills, you should be able to scan all the sites no problem. So here are the 4 available T1 exploration ships for comparison's sake, and as you can see, there's not much difference between them. The differences lie in the maximum velocity, the capacitor capacity, and the drone capacity. The fastest frigate is the Minmatar probe, and the one with the most capacitor capacity is the Magnate, the Amar exploration frigate. Besides that, their cargo hull capacity remains the same at 400 cubic meters. Looking at their fitting breakdown, you can see right away that the Heron has 5 open medium power slots. The Magnate in comparison has only 3, and that's not very versatile. The Imicus and the Probe, however, have 4, and that's enough to fit the data analyzer, relic analyzer, a micro warp drive, and then a choice of your array, like a range-finding array or pinpointing array. With the Heron, of course, you can fit another array or a cargo scanner. That's of course considering that you don't really discriminate between the relic sites and the data sites. Typically, the data sites will pay more than the relic sites, so it's a possibility that you might want to concentrate only on data sites. That way you'll be able to fit more of the arrays. But I recommend keeping your options open and being ready for both data and relic sites. So when it comes to Tech 1 exploration ships, you really can't go wrong with either of them. The considerations change a little bit when it comes to Tech 2 covered ops frigates, but I'll get into that later on. At this point, if you're just starting out, it's best to keep whatever the frigate you got from your tutorial mission. There is no need to train up to level 5 yet, especially if you might decide that the Tech 2 progression from your current frigate might not be very suitable to you in the future. I'll let you know about all the differences between the Tech 2 covered ops ships in one of the next episodes. However, for now, I'd like to concentrate on training towards the Astero frigate. It is an awesome exploration ship that costs a lot more than Tech 2 covered ops ships, but at the same time it's a lot easier to train for. It only requires level 3 Gallente and Amar frigate skill levels. So for now, I'll be training those up in addition to the astrometric range-finding skill, and trying to earn enough ISK to actually be able to afford the Astero. In the next episode though, I'll be venturing straight out into the low sec in my trusty Heron, the T1 Caldera exploration ship. I'd like to show you that you don't have to wait too long before you go into the low sec regions. The sites will be much tougher to scan down and definitely a lot tougher to hack, but it still should be doable, and the payout will certainly be much better than in high sec. So stay tuned for the next episode. In the meantime, please comment on this video if you have any questions or suggestions. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this one. Thank you very much for watching, and have fun exploring out there.